On your left.
Here's another one in the same vein. I just did this from, I think, the Wall Street Journal, talking about Germany's problem about low birth rate. And I think I was telling you guys that it is a European problem going forward, even though they have been importing people like crazy. You know, I'm not even talking about Syria. My thoughts on that, but I'm going to leave that out, okay? I'm going to leave that one out. Pope Francis on Sunday lamented Italy's declining birth rate, labeling the trend a tragedy. During his weekly address in front of St. Peter's Basilica, the Pope expressed concern about a growing number of Italian couples opting not to create large families. The demographic winter is a real worry, at least here in Italy. It seems that a lot of people have lost the wish to have children. Lots of couples prefer to remain childless, only have one child only. Most women, remember I told you that, most women only want to have one child just to fulfill their biological function, because children, they feel, aren't needed, right? They're a liability. It's a tragedy which runs counter to our families, our country, and our future. In 2020, Italy saw 404,892 births, down 15,000 from 2019, according to the National Statistics Office, that represented Italy's lowest level since the country was formed in 1861, and the 12th straight year the birth rate has fallen. This isn't the first time Pope Francis has called for Italy's adults to have more children. It's an urgent to offer young people the guarantees of sufficiently stable job and security of having a home, and incentives not to leave the country, Francis said in May, as he called for pro-family government policies. That's a pretty short article by the New York Post. And they're importing people, and Italy's been importing people, and that's not going to be having a lot of this racism going on in Italy, because they're importing so many immigrants, especially Africans. So you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna have the browning of Europe, man, very, very soon. Like Italy's already past its demographic shift. Okay, they're already on the other side where the births are declining so fast it can't even keep up with the deaths. So I do believe they've already reached their death cross, the same way white people in the United States have reached their death cross. It's like they have to import 40,000 children every year. And I do believe Italy is going to do the same thing. This is something that we talked about, this demographic shift. They were talking about this back in the 80s. Okay, it got worse in the 90s. They tried to correct it in 2000. Basically, it's pretty much a done deal. And the fact that the couples don't want to have children, that's also part of what we call the behavioral cliff. So you're getting a demographic winter and a behavioral cliff where couples can't get together and mate and have children. So shout out to the Mouse Utopia, the Universe 26 experiment by John Calhoun, I do believe it was. So keep an eye on it, folks. You think I'm lying? Biden pretty much admitted to it when he took office, that this is a reality. And by the way Biden was talking, there's very little they can do about it, which is why they're trying to get rid of abortion. They're getting rid of abortion not as a moral problem, but as a practical problem, as an economic problem, as an environmental problem. They can't sustain their viable economy the way it is, being top heavy as it is. Japan got away with it because Japan basically invested so much money outside the country to where they're getting returns, to where they can actually get money coming in to actually bolster their retirement plans, even though the folks are aging. But this is something that's just going to get, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. I mean, there's no way around it. They've been saying this for God knows how long. It's been obvious for the past 20 years. They predicted it in the 1980s with birth dearths. And they've been talking about demographics forever. And they've been looking at fertility rates forever. And at some point, Now, this kind of attitude is baked in the cake. This culture is baked in the cake, and it's getting worse, which is why they're willing to charge you up for having a baby. So, word to the wise for the guys: the state doesn't care. The state doesn't care about your plight, especially in this situation where it doesn't have enough babies. So, one, beware what's happening. Two, don't get caught up. And three, this is an opportunity for disease as the baby boomers retire or they die off or can't work, and COVID has done a pretty good job of running through like 1 million baby boomers, making all these openings. Now you got spots. You got spots to fill in and spots to work. So don't be lazy. Get in there and grind, because the money's going to be there, because they're going to have a real bad labor shortage, especially for disease. Millennials, or if they add the millennials and the Xers together to make up the same population that the boomers have. But as the boomers age out, and they're pretty much all aged out, most of the boomers are 57 years and older. They're 57 years old and older. So the boomers are basically have aged out. The last cohort, I guess I am the tip of the last cohort. And you know how old I am. And so we got 3 cohorts ahead of me that are at the age 65, and they're headed out. Most of the boomers are already retired. Most of the boomers are already retired for the most part. There ain't a whole bunch of 70-year-old people working. So Gen X, y'all been wanting spots. The spots are there. Like I said, like Germany and Italy, there's labor shortages. So basically, there should be no reason that Xers, Zs, and millennials can't work, because jobs are going to be there. Now, what you guys do about inflation, it's up to you. So you can stop complaining about the old Negroes, right? Old Negroes are not in your way. Old Negroes are actually leaving the scene. They're walking off stage. And it basically, you wanted balance as far as race balance. Now is the time to actually push for it, because white folks need you. White folks need a labor force. They can't afford to discriminate against the only workers that they have. There's not a surplus of workers. And they can't get white people from any place else, because there are none. There's a deficit of white folks all over the world. So they can't import anymore. Okay? Because, in fact, all the European countries are actually discouraging their white folks, their white populace, from leaving, because there's not enough of them. And if they leave, they're going to replace them with an immigrant that's going to be darker. But anyhow, this is my second story on this. I'll put these up tomorrow, I guess. And start off the post-Christmas thing right. Well, with that, I'm going to jump off here. This is BGS out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.